Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. We're just playing a little bit of Battlefield 2042 today. Some friends and I recently started playing this. We were looking for a new kind of PvP game to play, and we played a decent amount of Battlefield 5 together, and then this came out to really negative reviews, so we just kind of skipped over it. But now it's on Game Pass, and we were like, let's give it a try, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know how much they really fixed. I don't really know what was extremely wrong with the original release or anything like that, but yeah, we've been having fun with it. You know, it's certainly not like a masterpiece of game design. It doesn't seem like it reinvents the wheel in any way for the Battlefield franchise, but yeah, it seems fine. Hey, Intelligent Nonsense. So this is episode 444 of Hanging with Mangg. It's been quite a while. 2042 has come a long way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what I assumed, because, like, if this was the game on release, there doesn't seem to be anything really wrong with it. So yeah, I assume it's been patched quite a bit. Yeah, so this week on this channel, we had Pathfinder, we had Genshin Impact, and we had Rogue Trader Alpha. So a lot going on. Also, best games of all time. Also, Two Brothers Play with some RimWorld. Just a packed week. Packed week for the channel, and that's gonna just continue on as long as we can do it. Which presumably is gonna be for quite a while, because why not? Yeah, I've been playing some RimWorld on my own. I'm probably going to record another playthrough, even though I haven't uploaded all the other ones, just because why not? Hey, Durden. You wish you were better at RimWorld? I don't think I'm really good at RimWorld either. Although I don't, it's hard to say. Like, if you watch challenge videos and stuff like that, it's like, okay, I clearly am not ready for this sort of shenanigans. And I'm not gonna play on the highest difficulty or anything like that, and I tend to reload a lot, but I enjoy it, and that's really the main thing that matters. Shield's so good. Come here, you little fuck. He's gonna try to juke me. Shield is fun. You haven't spoken in a while. Hey, Plank. Yeah, it's going well. It's going good. I'm over all my illness. Finally, that's all done. Feels good to just be able to speak with a nice, normal voice again, without coughing or like wheezing or whatever all that nonsense was. So it's just good. But yeah, so I'm gonna record another RimWorld thing. I really want to do melee only again. I want to do melee only with no traps, no turrets, no, just pure every kill done with melee.
The battle goes well. We have conquered more sectors than our enemy.
which is not easy. Fuck. Turning in this thing is not easy. Ambiguous Amphibian does some really cool RimWorld stuff. Yes, that's how I discovered RimWorld. That's how I discovered a handful of games, actually. I think that's how I discovered Factorio. That may have been how I discovered CDDA as well. I think he did like a couple videos on it.
I'm ready.
Did I do anything for the holiday? Yes, the family was all over. We had a party. I didn't really participate a whole lot. That's why I like having the party house, because I can just retreat to my room like the old days. But you know, Easter's never like that exciting of a holiday. I've never been that into Easter. You know, there's no presents. There's no like Easter music. There's no it's not a very cozy holiday. Sometimes, you know, it can be kind of like a summer party almost, where you have yard games and stuff, but today it was just kind of a little chilly and cloudy, and it was just, yeah. And then there's always ham. Easter's always a ham holiday, and I hate ham.
We're drawing on reinforcements.
Dude, why did that guy release immediately?
Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah, it is a losing. We need to fucking take the point. Ah. Taking a big history unit exam. Okay, well, may your brain work in your favor. I mean, I like pork plenty, but like I had just made a gigantic thing of pulled pork earlier this week. And so I went downstairs and I took it out of the fridge to make myself some sandwiches. My mom was like, "No, you can't have that. We're having dinner in 5 minutes." And I'm like, "Oh, great." Because it's like ham is just... I think a ham could be really good. I've just never had a good ham because they just throw a gigantic ham roast or whatever in the oven, and it's not like flavorful at all. And it's just boring. It's just such a boring meat. But anyways. But it's whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. So, anyways, Wrath of the Righteous is going to continue for a long time.
Reloading, watch it.
And Genshin Impact will continue for a while as well. We got plenty of that.
Strategy is working. We now control.
Rogue Trader, the alpha, I have no idea how long it is. So we're just gonna keep playing it, keep uploading it, and we'll see. Oh shit, that was... For cold cuts, you're definitely a turkey guy. Yeah, so growing up, my meal at school, because we always, you had bagged lunch. We weren't fancy. So my meal pretty much every day for like 8 years, thanks to my mom, was a ham sandwich.
American occupation.
And that means white bread, ham, and a little bit of mayo. And that was it every day. So, yeah, I'm just kind of disillusioned with ham. Yeah.
Gotta reload.
Why did you rush out there?
Hostiles down. Shield ready. Woo!
Anyways, yeah, so that's all what's happening on this channel. I think there's some game coming out that I've already forgotten, even though I've had this exact discussion on a previous Hanging with Mangg. Oh, Jedi, yeah, the new Jedi game, yeah.
Shield is on. Let's go. That's one.
You gotta love the shield. What are you doing camping? Camping.
We now control Charlie sector.
God damn it. Why did he think going on the floor would save him? But it did. Talk one of your friends into giving Elden Ring another try, and we're like a support group for each other. Well, there is co-op. And there's the seamless co-op mod where you just join together once and then nothing will ever like cause you to like be separated. You'll just, because normally when you play co-op, if you kill a boss, the summonee has to, go back to their own world and stuff. And it's a big pain in the ass. But the seamless co-op mod, you just continue to play together like a normal game. And it's fantastic. Lego and I did it for a little bit.
Grenade out.
Just gotta have no fear. No fear. Trust in the shield. Trust in the shield. Fuck. And then eventually you die, but it's fun. They're crossplay PS5 to PC. I don't know. I can't answer such things. You will have to turn to Google or chatbot.
Watch my back.
Fuck. But yeah. So this week, in the exploring series,
For something new.
basically I just finished putting together the video from last week, which was on, I'm not going to remember the number.
Travel sector.
The Ethics Committee Inquest. If you like some Ethics Committee stuff.
Sector if they are not stopped.
And next week, I'm going to be working on a Warhammer 40,000 video.
Reloading ammo.
Very exciting stuff. I'm going to be working on an overview of the Primarchs. And this is mostly just for my own knowledge, to be honest. I mean, people hopefully find it interesting, but I really don't know that much about the Primarchs. I could name a handful of them off the top of my head, but fuck you. Oh, wow. Sometimes it just fails, you know? I don't know. Because I don't know how to beat the shield myself if someone rushed at me with the shield.
We have captured all of Delta sector.
But yeah, so, you know, the Primarchs are the Emperor's, like, direct kind of
Sectors on the battlefield.
offspring slash creation, sort of. There's 20 of them, although a few of them are missing and lost to the ages, and
Almost all.
I would assume at some point Games Workshop will be like, well, one of them came back and here he is. You know, just as like a big, you know, like a comic book kind of surprise. Do I have a favorite Primarch overall? See, I know that that's going to be like a common question. And I imagine that's a common thing. I want to say it's almost like when you talk about the Cthulhu mythos with somebody. Which is a weird I know I told this story, but this was years ago now. But when I went to Europe, I went with my nephew and my sister, and it was a school trip, a high school trip to France mostly. And I was along as kind of a chaperone and kind of just like a guest. I don't know. I was just kind of allowed to tag along, partly because I, you know, kind of spoke French or kind of understood French. And I don't know. I wasn't really in a chaperone because there were times when all the chaperones would get together and discuss stuff, and I was not like part of that because I, you know. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So anyways, at one point, we had a tour guide who was just a local resident. He was not a native. He was not a native French-born guy, but he did live there. And he was kind of explaining his background to us, and he had mentioned, just in passing, that he did his like thesis on Lovecraft or something like that. And I had not really been listening too intently, but I perked my head up. Because at this point, I had already done like my whole series on the Cthulhu mythos. And so I told him that. And we had basically just this like communal nerd discussion. And most of the people on this school trip were like high school girls. And so it was just like two guys just nerdily discussing the Cthulhu mythos on this tour bus. Well, all these girls were like, what the fuck are they talking about? And so, yeah, he chatted with me a bunch about Lovecraft and the mythos and stuff. And one of the questions that he asked me is like, and he even acknowledged it as kind of like an odd question, but he's like, you know, which one's your favorite? Referring to like a mythos entity, you know, which one of the gods and stuff is your favorite? And I was like, well, you know, I have a favorite. You know, Nyarlathotep is definitely the one I would say is my favorite, but it is like an odd thing to kind of discuss. Because I doubt that Lovecraft ever intended for anyone to have a favorite deity in his mythos. But, you know, I don't know. Because it seems so comic booky. But anyways, so I feel like Primarchs in 40K kind of fulfill that role, as well as like your favorite Space Marine chapter or something like that, or your favorite faction in general. I think those are all kind of going to be repeating questions that I get going forward. So, to tie it back anyways, I don't know. Because, like I said, I don't really know many Primarchs. I don't know a lot about the Primarchs. I have read... You know, I've read a few of the Horus Heresy novels, which kind of give you a better glimpse at some of the Primarchs. I did not care for Fulgrim. I can tell you that much. I didn't care for his whole sort of personality and aesthetic and all that kind of stuff. And his, you know, this obsession with like perfection in all things, and it's like, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that question. But let me do the video. Let me do a video going over all the Primarchs. I'm going to research all of them and look into all of them. So come back next week and ask me that next week. And maybe I'll have an actual answer.
Come on, let's go! Pendejo! Heavy shot! Reload it!
So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. My goal for every 40K video that I'm going to be doing, my goal is to be around 20 minutes. Maybe sometimes a little less, maybe sometimes a little bit more. I don't want to do any 40K video that's like an hour long.
Target down! Gotta reload!
We're being pushed back on all fronts. Hostiles control more sectors.
I'm ready!
Fuck. Partly that's for my own sanity, and partly that is specifically due to just like... I don't necessarily want to say the algorithm. I think saying the algorithm is always kind of a bit of a cop-out answer. But, I think that's just kind of the market that I want to fill, is the nice, structured 20-minute scripted video.
Give me 1 sec!
Because I looked at Luton09's channel, who's, you know, the biggest 40K lore YouTuber, and I saw he was doing some, like, deep-ass dives into these topics for, like, 2 hours or something like that. And I'm not sure if they're scripted or not. It didn't seem particularly scripted. Maybe he has just bullet points or notes, or I don't know what it is. Clearly he's knowledgeable and good at what he does, and there's definitely an audience for that. But no, I want to do something a little bit tighter than that.
Hostiles control Bravo sector.
They're scouting for weakness.
Fuck, what?
They've limited reserves one.
They control more sectors than we do. We must counterattack.
So yeah, now we'll begin the cycle of bouncing between 40K videos and SCP videos, as I try to bear all this knowledge in my head between the two different universes.
We have conquered Charlie sector.
Grenade! Gee, up!
No fear, no fear. Ah,
They're abandoning.
well, we won.
We've won this.
So, you know, I'll be covering 40K. Any excitement around the Cavill Amazon show? Yes, a lot of excitement. That was actually one of the, yeah, that guy's name is Infamous Mangg. That was one of the reasons that I sort of, felt encouraged to do a switch. Because the fact that 40K is big enough where they're going ahead with like a big time show with Henry Cavill, who's kind of a big deal, and he's spearheading it, and you know there's potential for more shows beyond just the one. Clearly 40K is kind of in a rising position, so yeah, I'm very excited for it personally, and I'm excited for it because of what it kind of represents for the franchise, which is good for me. Yeah, so I'm alternating weeks of content. So the next video, well, tomorrow's video SCP, next Monday video 40K, next one SCP, next one 40K. That's going to continue on. For a while. I don't know when it'll stop.
Okay, when do we start?
I don't know when that schedule will stop or change. We're just gonna do that for a while. And yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I like 40K, so I got a lot of messages in the last week or so. I've gotten a lot of messages from people. A lot of messages. I mean, I got like 2 today. A lot of messages of support and stuff like that, and just being like, you know, no matter what you do or anything like that, you know, you're great at what you do, and you've given me years of entertainment and blah blah. You know, a lot of nice messages, and it seems that a lot of people are interested in checking out 40K. A lot of people were not aware that I've already made 40K videos. Even my own brother Lego was like, "Oh, I can't wait for you to make some 40K video. I'm gonna check those out." And I'm like, "Yeah, I already have like 13 of them. You weren't excited back then." So I'm gonna have to plug those. I'm gonna have to make a community post where I just share the playlist. I'll post it on Twitter. You know, I want people to watch those because those are still good videos. Will I retouch and make vids like my older 40K stuff for us noobs? Will I retouch them? I mean, I think they're still. I don't know if there's anything that's really incorrect or bad about the videos I've made. I think if they didn't exist and I was starting fresh, I would kind of compartmentalize them a little bit more. I wouldn't just make a video about the Tau, you know. I mean, maybe I would. I don't know. Maybe I would, but I don't know. Because now that I'm doing it more seriously, there needs to be more than just one video about the Tau. You know, if you look at if you look at channels that are dedicated to one subject, there's a lot of nitty-gritty deep dives where they really slice up content into dozens of videos. I mean, God, it's all just so. It's a lot of stuff that I hate. You know, really like clickbaity kind of stuff and just things that I don't care for. But if we go to Luton 09's channel, he actually doesn't make that many videos. He makes like a couple videos a month, but I mean, like, this one is almost 2 hours long. So it's like, yeah, that takes a long time. I mean, yes, I put out one of those in a week, but you know, it's not a fun week. But yeah, he's got videos on like, here's an hour-and-a-half video specifically about Nathaniel Garrow, who's just one character from the Horus Heresy, you know. Here's a video, 20 minutes, just on bomb squigs, orc bomb squigs. So that's just a specific like orc unit type that he's made a 20-minute video on. Here's an hour and 8-minute video just on las guns. Like, that's crazy to me. Because if I was going to make a video that touched on las guns and talked about that, it would specifically be like, I would make a video that's like the weapons of the Imperial Guard or something like that. Or even the weapons of the Imperium that talked about all sorts of different... I just don't know if I can be that hardcore specific about such a specific topic, you know. But that's kind of what you have to do. If that's your channel and you're dedicated to one franchise, you kind of have to get that specific to just keep putting out content. Now, for me, I can always just switch franchises. That's kind of what my channel's about. And I guess in a way, like SCP, I have gotten that specific. Making a whole video about one SCP article is essentially the same thing as making a video about las guns. Those videos are all, you know, 40K. By that, you mean just add to them. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to continue that playlist sort of under the assumption that you've kind of either watched my first 40K videos or you're otherwise familiar with those topics. Yeah, I mean, he's very just into 40K. Because he's got videos, you know, lore videos, but he also has a lot of stuff that's just like talking about the hobby itself. Here's a 30-minute video just talking about 9th edition first thoughts from 2 years ago. Here's a 22-minute video where he just talks about price increases in the hobby, and he's got videos on specific box sets that they've come out. I have not even played the tabletop game. I'm in the process. But actually, if I can gripe, I don't know if I mentioned this already. Last week was kind of a haze, but so 40K has a starter set that's kind of like, this is what you should get if you are just being introduced to the hobby. It's called Kill Team. And someone in my Globetrotter channel on my Discord server recommended, oh, you should look into Kill Team if you're just getting started. And I was like, okay, I'll look into it. And yeah, this is what they kind of push for the starter, because specifically because it's smaller scale. Like, the biggest that Kill Team gets is like 10 people or 10 units on a side. You know, it's like small skirmish warfare. And that makes a lot of sense because big time full scale 40K, I've seen pictures, you know, that's like, it's like army. You're launching armies against each other, and it can take a long ass time. Whereas Kill Team is meant to be almost more akin to a board game in the scale of things. And I was like, okay, that's all great. That sounds awesome. And it even has some like actual support for like 4-player, which is what I'm looking for because I don't have like, if I'm going to play, it's going to be with a group of people. So I need multiplayer. So I was like, okay, 4-player, that's awesome. There's a starter set for Kill Team. It's like $80. And I'm like, okay, well, this is a business expense. So I'm going to buy 2 of these starter sets, and we're going to have 4-player. I'm going to figure out exactly, what to do with the 2 sets or whatever. But we're going to have 4-player, and it's going to be awesome. And I get the starter set. And I open it up, and I get just blasted in the face with sprues. And it's just sprues galore. And yeah, I mean, it's, yep, it, and I'm sure some people are just gonna be like, well, fucking duh. But I think people that are really into the hobby might not just understand how insane this is. Opening up a board game, it's not a board game, but something akin to a board game. Most people would look at it on a table and say, oh, what board game are you playing? At least like in the modern day, because there's a lot of board games now that have miniatures. So something akin to a starter set for a board game, and just open it up and seeing sprue upon sprue that you have to clip out with like clippers and then glue together. It's insane. It's just absolutely insane. I can't understand how Games Workshop does not have an introductory starter set that has pre-assembled miniatures. And I know some people will say, oh, well, assembling and painting the miniatures, that's a huge part of the hobby. And it is, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Not everyone is into assembling miniatures. And in fact, I don't know a single person that I could even pay to assemble miniatures for me. No one enjoys it. No one enjoys painting miniatures. And I've asked for painting in the past, and I've asked for assembling, and no one I know has any interest in that. I did have a cousin that did actually assemble my Kingdom Death stuff for me, that I paid her to do it. But afterwards she was like, yeah, I wouldn't do it again. It's not a fun thing for most people. And so it doesn't bode well for the hobby. I'm not talking about the franchise, but specifically the tabletop game, the hobby. It doesn't bode well when a major part of it is something that most people don't want to do. And it's like, shouldn't the major part of it be the game? Shouldn't that be the main fun part? That most people want to do? And so I have one of my board game friends. He actually played. He didn't play. I don't think he played 40K. I think he played like BattleTech or something like that at a convention once. He got roped into it, and he said it was the most miserable experience of his life, of just like how fucking slow and boring it is. Now, he as a gamer doesn't really tend to like long, time-consuming kind of games like that. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I don't know. So your buddy talked about all that and the painting and stuff. He said is the best part. Yeah, that's wild. And it's like, what that tells me is that the game itself is not that great. Do I maybe plan on playing more 40k games like Mechanicus or Space Marine? I do have a Let's Play of Space Marine. It should be on the channel if you're interested, and I will be doing the sequel. Mechanicus, I don't know. I tried it for a little bit. It didn't seem that in depth to really grab me at the time, but yeah, I do plan on doing more 40k stuff. But yeah, it just seems to me then that like the game itself is not that compelling if most people that are in the hobby enjoy it because of assembling and painting miniatures. Obviously, people play the game, and obviously people enjoy the game, but I've heard plenty of times that assembling the miniatures and painting them is the best part. And it's like, that doesn't seem great. It's kind of like if I played Pathfinder, like, you know, Wrath of the Righteous, and I told people, oh, the best part is when you create your character at the start of the game. And it's like, really? That's going to be the best part? It's just downhill after that? Like, no, I mean, the game should be the fun part. So I went to eBay, and of course, other people assemble stuff. I think I did it kind of rashly. I was kind of upset. It was like, okay, first of all, I'm never going to assemble this shit myself. I have zero interest in doing that ever. I'm never going to get anyone I know personally to do this. So I have to go elsewhere. I have to go to a third party. And so I went on eBay and I just bought assembled miniatures. And that was probably a bad way to do it, because now I just have a bunch of sprues sitting here. What I should have done, I didn't think of it at the time, I should have just gone on like Fiverr and just sent my sprues to somebody and paid them to assemble them. So now I'm going to end up with a bunch of assembled miniatures and then a bunch of sprues that I'm going to also have to eventually pay somebody to assemble. But yeah, it's just like, clearly Games Workshop believes that the assembly and the painting is the best part, or is the most major part of the hobby, because they do not sell a set with pre-assembled miniatures. And that's kind of my, it points to a bigger concern that I have with the franchise. I don't know if Games Workshop is the most capable company to handle 40K in general. Like, I don't know. I feel like 40K could be a much bigger franchise with a different company. But Games Workshop will never, like, sell 40K because Games Workshop is 40K. Like, they would just be done. Because 40K is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to grow. And once you have a TV show coming out and stuff, like a major show, you have like major video games coming out and stuff like that, most people are not going to equate Warhammer 40K with a tabletop war game. Most people, the average person that watches that show, is not ever going to think of it as a war game. They're not even going to be aware of it. So it needs to become bigger than that. I think there might be some 40K board games. I think I actually looked at one on Tabletop Simulator and I thought about making a video on it. I don't even remember what it was called. Warhammer Quest. Yeah, Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. That was the one I looked at. That was basically just like a more of a 40K board game. And there are some others as well. But they're far less known. I believe that comes with... Oh, no. No. Not even that comes with pre-assembled miniatures. It comes with 44 push-fit Citadel miniatures, each supplied on pre-colored plastic sprues. So yes, even that one, which is essentially just a 40K board game, you still have to clip them off of sprues and push-fit them together. What the fuck? For a while, you were really into customizing Transformer figures, and you would buy and then paint all these 3D replacement parts. It was very zen. Okay. I'm not shitting on people that enjoy it. Like, not at all. Clearly, there's a market for it, and clearly, you know, there's a whole hobby based around it. But what I'm saying is that most people don't have any interest in assembling and painting miniatures. And if they want this to be like a huge media franchise, and they clearly want to continue supporting it as a war game, if you want to bring people into that hobby, I think you kind of have to be a little more accommodating. I want to play the war game. I don't want to assemble miniatures. In fact, I wouldn't mind just like using Legos just to play. That's how little I care about the actual miniatures themselves. But the problem is that I think the miniatures actually do matter. Like, what they have equipped on their miniature is kind of what they have equipped as far as the game rules are concerned. I think if you're just playing with some buddies, I don't think it really matters, but I get, and I do think that's pretty cool. And obviously in a video game, that would be like mandatory. It's like, yes, okay, I can see that my character in this game, he's got a sword in one hand and a pistol in the other hand. He's not going to just suddenly use a rocket launcher. I mean, obviously, you know, it's a video game, it can happen. But that makes perfect sense. And so I get it. And I get it. But at the same time, I don't care. I don't know. Maybe I'm upset with myself that I don't enjoy it. And just trust me, I don't enjoy it. I've tried. I've tried painting miniatures in the past on my own. I think I did a video stream where I was trying to assemble Kingdom Death stuff or something like that. And I've tried assembling other stuff on my own. I just don't like it. I think my fingers are too fat. I shake too much. I just can't do it. So I don't know. Kind of a long-winded rant that has no conclusion. But my concern is that I might end up becoming known as kind of a 40K YouTuber. I might not. I mean, that might not happen, but let's be optimistic and say that the 40K videos are successful, and I become known as a 40K YouTuber with no love whatsoever for the war game. And then it's like, you know, I mean, that their need that so that's, I guess, my concern going back to Games Workshop is that they are kind of like all about the tabletop war game. And that's such a small part, I think, of what 40K can become, or has become, really. I don't know. I mean, a lot of stuff that I've heard about Games Workshop in general has not been super positive. Like, it doesn't paint the company in a very great light. I think they were over litigious when it came to like YouTubers and stuff. Like, didn't they shut down like the CGI, the anime, the Stardies or whatever? Like yeah. Here. In July 2021, Games Workshop made changes to their IP guidelines, adopting a zero-tolerance stance towards fan-made games, videos, and animations, drawing criticism from fans. Like, come the fuck on, dude. How do companies still have this standpoint? And that, I think that was the thing, is like they shut down Astartes, which was a better like animation than anything that they had done. I think they recruited the guy or anything like that or something. I don't remember all the history. I wasn't that into 40K at the time, but yeah, these changes coincide with the recent launch of the Warhammer Plus subscription service. And yeah, they hired the guys that made the Astartes shorts. Yeah, I mean, companies just are kind of boneheaded. Even very recently with the Monster energy drink, where they like sued, or I don't know if they sued them or just a cease and desist thing. Yeah, here's the article right here. Monster Energy. They have targeted indie developer Glowstick Entertainment for the great crime of making a game called Dark Deception Monsters and Mortals. The settlement offered by Monster, which allows for the studio to use the name in exchange for a whole bunch of nonsensically restrictive terms, including that it never again used the word monster or variations such as monstrous or monstrosity in a game title. You literally cannot put the word monstrous in a game title without Monster Energy coming at you. And it's just insane because it's like you're not going to fight a company. If a big company came at me for whatever reason and said, "Hey, stop doing this," I would stop doing it because I'm not going to go to court. That's insane. Even if you're 100% right and they're just giant bags of dicks, you don't go to court. It's just a lose-lose for you. So, and they know it. Oh, it's so, yeah, it's pretty terrible. I think we got a bit off topic, but anyways, yeah. So fortunately, Games Workshop doesn't seem to be just targeting any given 40K YouTuber. You know, all of my 40K videos are still up and fine, and obviously, there's plenty of people making 40K videos. Because, I mean, shutting down lore channels is really a bad move. Nintendo is definitely the worst on that front. This YouTube, I mean, here's an article that's, you know, from Friday about a YouTuber that made videos showcasing a multiplayer mod for Breath of the Wild, and all of them got copyright struck. Yeah, so, you know, I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I don't do really anything involving Nintendo. Nintendo actively hates the competitive Smash Brothers scene. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. They're really just pissy. The only thing that the thing that really pissed me off was that they shut down AM2R, which was another Metroid 2 remake. And that's because they were putting out Metroid Samus Returns. And AM2R was like a fucking shining example of the indie world, taking a tired old game like Metroid 2 and just revitalizing it and making it into something modern and awesome. and I don't even care to ever play Samus Returns because it's on the 3DS and it's like that 2.5D shit. I have no interest. Whereas AM2R is awesome. I don't have a copy of it. No, I mean you can definitely find it still. Yeah, like if you want to just find AM2R, like you can get a hold of it. It's there's plenty. You can't remove something from the internet, but they obviously shut down development of it, and so I don't think it's really being actively worked on by anybody. Apparently, there's a subreddit that's still active, and people are making mods for AM2R, and people are still enjoying it and playing it and stuff like that. So here's an AM2R 2.0 preview build number 2 from 8 days ago. So apparently, this may have been an April Fool's joke. But still, you can't remove something from the internet. You can still get it. But yeah, they shut it down. They Okay, I don't think they ever shut down the fan translation of Mother 3. I don't know why I thought they did. But yeah, the fact that they have still not released Mother 3 is kind of insane. There's a final build that was released and then they got hit with cease and desist. Yeah. And I recall playing it and it was awesome. Apparently they've never localized Mother 3 because there were some controversial aspects to the game itself. Anyways, we're getting way off topic. This has been going on long enough. I am hungry. So anyways, right. So more Wrath of the Righteous, more Genshin Impact, more 40k Rogue Trader. Two others play. Wednesday we're doing RimWorld one last time. And then next Saturday, we're going back to Total War 3. The new DLC's coming out with Chaos Dwarves. It's going to be pretty hype. And yeah, more best games of all time. There's actually a list. I never mentioned this, but there's actually a similar list of video games considered the worst. It's not nearly as lengthy, but I may have to do some videos on those as well because that could be fun. But yeah, and then over on the Exploring series, video on the Ethics Committee Inquest, whatever SCP number that is. And then next week will be an overview of the Primarchs. That is everything. So thank you all for hanging out and chatting with me on this fine Sunday. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.